Sigma men are the guys that work quietly and behind the scenes to make things happen. So it's not surprising that most people are ignorant of them. When everything is going well, Sigma males are just there in the background, doing what needs to be done without complaint or fanfare, just like a good soldier should be. However, no one knows who these quiet heroes really are until disaster strikes and silence becomes betrayal. Sigma males rarely get credit for their contributions because they aren't looking for it or care about it. This film will demonstrate how these unsung heroes work in secret, something that many people have never seen. How these unsung heroes work behind the scenes to keep the world turning. Sigma men are usually quite smart, but they also put a lot of effort into avoiding being labeled as nerds or geeks. They are also very good observers. Since many Sigma male children experience bullying at school due to their brilliance, they learn early on how to fit in socially with minimal effort. In fact, their dislike of small chat is exactly what makes them stand out from the pack. Sigma men are sometimes misunderstood by others who do not understand them, and although many of them give off the impression of being uninterested, this is really a front for their extraordinary capacity for focus on a certain subject. Because of this trait, Sigma males enjoy working and learning. They also tend to have high IQs and excel in technology, finance, and engineering. Many of them are also nomads. But their ability to remain anonymous and hidden enables them to effectively participate in almost any industry or profession. Because Sigma males avoid the celebrity spotlight that comes with career achievement while quietly accumulating more power and wealth than most people could ever imagine, we assume that success like this is out of reach for everyone who can comprehend how these people think and behave. Sigma men are the ultimate knowledge workers, interested in comprehending how things work at a very deep level. As a result, they usually become experts in their chosen fields and may even teach others what they know. Sigma men love to learn, and they typically read, study, and acquire as much knowledge as possible. It's a common misconception that all intelligent people work alone, but some of them prefer to form groups with people who share their ideas and goals. They like to work alone, but when a goal becomes too big, they look for others to form a team and accomplish the goal. These groups congregate in places where they have little chance of being noticed, like basements, libraries, or any public space. This explains why so many innovations originate from garages rather than corporate laboratories. Sigma men operate primarily behind the scenes because they rarely desire conflict unless it is absolutely necessary. Like any other community, they have their own culture and an inner circle that only a select few are able to enter. Their goals may differ from what you might believe. In this video, we talk about these people and why their paths have taken them away from the spotlight to focus on what we all need: the ability for humans to live forever. Finding out which of the three groups a Sigma man belongs to, the misfits and outcasts, the black sheep, is the first step in recognizing him. 2 are the wandering nomads, the free spirits. 3 are the outsiders, the visionaries. Sigma males are primarily nomads, meaning they don't like to stay in one place for very long, because they are constantly thinking about their next destination. These individuals sometimes appear disinterested. As a result, these individuals frequently acquire homes in various locations around the world to accommodate their nomadic lifestyle. The black sheep are typically the misfits in a given society. They can also be a family's black sheep. We will discuss the differences between these groups a little later. They can also be the odd man out in a big family of relatives who all work in the same field or sector. In this scenario, they frequently start their own businesses as a way to get away from situations that seem too strict or controlling for their preferences. The outsider, also referred to as the visionary, is a true rebel who questions everything and does not take anything at face value. If you find someone who is extremely curious about the unknown, you have found an outsider. They will spend their entire life trying to understand how things work, and they frequently possess many of the above traits, such as high intelligence and a keen interest in technology. The visionary is frequently much ahead of his time. There is no doubt that all three groups share many common traits and that they are typically brilliant in some way. But each Sigma male also has distinct differences depending on which group he belongs to. You may be wondering what a Sigma male is, where they come from, and why you have never heard of them, as we will discuss shortly. However, the rest of society may not always embrace him until years later when he is finally recognized for his genius. Sigma guys generally don't get along with other people. Therefore, their actions are kept under wraps. In fact, You've probably already met one or two of them without ever realizing it. Sigma males are highly inquisitive and perceptive people who distinguish themselves from their peers in school by grasping difficult ideas before the rest of the class. Because they are so intelligent, they are typically reclusive and find it difficult to interact with others, which makes them socially awkward and contributes to the process of being shunned. Sigma guys are unaffected by peer pressure and could not care less about trends. They have little interest in following the herd and have very little regard for authoritative figures or what society thinks of them. Instead, they do whatever makes them happy. They are unaffected by peer pressure and don't give a damn about trends. They don't want to fit in with the herd. They can sometimes be mistaken for narcissists, since they don't give a damn about what other people think of them or their appearance. Sigma males typically struggle to follow teachers' instructions because they can solve problems with little effort and do not see the need to pay attention to others. They dress to blend in so they can listen to others and learn from them without drawing attention to themselves. Although they appear to lack social skills, in reality, they are better at reading body language and facial expressions than the average person. Sigma males are generally very laid back, which makes them enjoyable to be around, but they are not social butterflies by any means. Their intelligence tends to set them apart from other boys their age even though they do not boast about their abilities. They are usually described by others as weird or socially awkward because they spend so much time learning about their favorite subjects. In school, Sigma males typically struggle to follow teachers' instructions, because they can solve problems with little effort and do not see the need to listen to the teacher unless it is something they want to hear. Sigma males are generally described by others as strange or socially awkward because they spend so much time in their own heads analyzing things. While they can be found in any environment, they are more frequently found with other members of the Sigma tribe regardless of what group they belong to. They are not social butterflies by any means. Instead, they are more concerned with learning about their favorite subjects than impressing others or doing the typical things that teenagers want to do. Their intelligence tends to set them apart from other boys their age. They belong to, despite the fact that most Sigma males are loners by nature. They are still human beings who crave companionship. This is where their genius lies, though, because even though no one understands them, their minds never stop working to figure out why everyone else acts in the way that they do. If they manage to locate other members of their tribe, it's probably because those people have some common interests and traits, even though the Sigma males do not. When this occurs, a bond is formed and each member sees value in the relationship, because of the knowledge they can impart to each other. The black sheep is a Sigma male who, for whatever reason, finds himself to be the social outcast and harbors resentment towards others. He may engage in antisocial behavior and spend a lot of time alone, creating a haven of solitude where he feels comfortable because it is familiar to him. This is typically a sign that the black sheep has been bullied or shunned by other groups, and he may lash out at his peers. Because he is frustrated with society and has given up on finding a place where he fits in, the black sheep finds it difficult to trust people, and they typically don't like to confide, because they find it difficult to understand why anyone would want to be friends with them. In other situations, the black sheep has been forced to change who he is in order to fit in, and this is something he can no longer live with. As a result, the black sheep will either isolate himself from society or partake in activities that others view as taboo or deviant. He may also choose to spend his days thinking back on his past and how it caused him to become an outcast. Finally, he may feel as though he hasn't yet found his destiny. So he keeps looking for the one thing that will fulfill him in a way that other members of society cannot. Since life is brief and he likes to spend his time alone, where he is not required to compromise any element of himself in order to make others happy, the black sheep is the Sigma male who is least likely to enter into relationships. This group includes people who prefer to be independent of other people and situations. They don't mind living in cities, but they feel most at ease when they can travel wherever they please and whenever they please. These people can adapt to new situations with ease and are present in all spheres of life. The nomadic Sigma male considers the world to be his tribe, and he embarks on a mission to see everything in the shortest period of time. He is driven to see the world and all of its wonders, whether they are man-made or nature. Rather than facing his past as the black sheep does, the nomad travels in search of something that will complete him, even though he is unsure of what that is at the moment. Other times, he is running towards something but is unsure of what that is either, which causes him to pick up and leave at any time. The nomad can be found anywhere on the planet because his home is wherever he decides it should be for the time being. He finds it easy to form relationships with people. But because he is constantly on the go, he might not see them for extended periods of time. He believes that if he stops moving too much, his life will stagnate and he won't be able to learn new things that could help him in the future. 3. The outsiders are people who are rarely seen or heard from, because they keep to themselves and cherish their privacy above all else. When they do come into the light, though, they bring with them a clarity of mind and a sense of purpose that usually takes everyone by surprise. The outsider Sigma man lives in his own world, and he distances himself from others because he believes that this is the only way to shield himself from being hurt by others. He has been betrayed by multiple people, so he no longer opens up to anyone, regardless of how hard they try to get close to him. He doesn't want to be misinterpreted, so he maintains his distance from others so that he knows that no one will judge him. The Sigma male is a guy who follows his own path. He doesn't follow the herd or behave as society dictates. In order to live the life he desires, he needs to defy expectations from others and carve out his own route based on what makes sense in his head, regardless of what others may believe or desire. The Sigma male is a guy who can see all sides of an issue and appreciates individuals for who they are, regardless of their differences, because he doesn't follow the herd or take things at face value. Many people will write him off as a fool or call him crazy, even though there is no evidence to support those claims. This is because the Sigma man functions on a different level than ordinary people, so even though he may not understand those differences, he doesn't need to. The truth is that if you are asking this question, you probably aren't a Sigma male and you don't understand how his mind works. This means that any advice I give you or anything I tell you about this kind will probably fall on deaf ears because, for whatever reason, your mind isn't wired the same way. The Sigma male lives in a completely different world than those around him and sees things differently than everyone else, which is why he is frequently misunderstood and why he can appear a little strange to those who don't understand him. Appears a little odd to others who don't understand him. The Sigma male may have been born this way, but it's more likely that something happened to him along the way that made him this way. For whatever reason, the tribe of people surrounding him questioned his actions or responded to him in a way that shut him down. This happened because the Sigma man disagrees with the status quo and isn't afraid to go in a different direction if that's what makes sense to him, even though it may not be the right way in the eyes of those around him. As a result, he frequently feels alone in the world and that no one else sees things the way he does. Because of his experiences and distinct outlook on life, he may feel as though he is alone on an island, yet despite this, he doesn't seem to care all that much about the people around him. Man is aware that some of this is just a part of life, but he still feels as though something is missing because other people do not share his values. For this reason, he is constantly looking for people who share his perspective on the world and who can relate to his struggles or what he is going through. If you like the video, subscribe our channel. Thank you.